So my name is Andrea. I'm associate professor in the Department of Industrial Design here at KAIST. I lead 2 courses for undergraduate, and that's basically is the subject of today's conversation. One of them is called the software prototyping, where I teach software to design students, and the other one is interaction prototyping, which is actually the focus of today's interview. And in this class I teach electronics and a little bit of coding to students in design. So thanks to Corona, it was very challenging. Obviously we took a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge and experience from the past edition of the class, and also from our experience with high school, for training students in high school. But substantially what we have been doing is we changed a little bit the curriculum to fit an online real-time class, and at the same time we developed a set of tools, those tools that we use for teaching in the class, and hopefully to facilitate the students to better interact with us. Just to give you a little bit of context, so I teach a class that focuses on electronics. So what we do is all the students that take the class are given a toolkit. So I have here some toolkits. These are the toolkits that we give to the students. So we usually have pre-assembled parts for them, containing components of various kind and a breadboard. Then we have some basic tools like a multimeter that we provide to the student. So they receive from us a digital multimeter, and they learn how to use a digital multimeter to sense voltages, resistance, current, and so on. So this is also part of the activity that we do in class. And finally, we developed the blink board. And the blink board looks like a breadboard. And this breadboard has LEDs here on the side that we can use to guide the students. So with this combination of a new curriculum and tools that we made, we found a good combination for online courses that are. So the class actually it's a very hands-on activity class, which means I do cover theory, but usually what we do is we engage them with some activity and some homework that they have to do, and many of these things happen to be in class. And I will show later on some simple example of these activities. And through these activities, I get the opportunity to explain some concepts. So when, for example, we have an exercise and the students have to build a circuit, they see the slide through Zoom. And when I change the slide, as you can see, I tell them how to connect a wire, and they can see directly where to connect the wire. So if I say place a resistor here, they see where to place the resistor. So I can guide them through this process step by step. And for example, in this case, I'm saying put an LED exactly in this location. And why we do this is because on the other side, we have a monitoring tool. And in that monitoring tool, we can actually see if they place it correctly or not. Now, the challenge part is that when we do an activity that involves assembling a circuit, it's very difficult to see that through a webcam. So the students cannot really follow you. So what we do instead is we use the blink board that we developed. So while I show the slide of how they should compose a circuit, on the blink board itself, you would see light patterns that tell to the students how to connect different components. And on the other side, the TAs and me can see on a tablet or on a computer the status of the circuit of the student. So we can actually kind of infer if they complete the exercise, if there are any trouble, or if they are okay and they're doing fine. So for that, again, we use in-class activities. And I particularly like this idea that comes from the MIT Media Lab called the 4 Ps. So it's peers, project, passion, and play. And these are basically the 4 important things that we try to put in a class. So it's project-based, but these projects, I'll show you later, they're very playful. They tend to be games that actually we develop. So the students have to make some kind of fun game to learn electronics. One of the aspects that we consider important is playfulness. So the homework try to engage students by making activity fun. So they have this pen that they actually can use for drawing. But it's not a normal pen, because when I touch, I can actually draw audio. So I can make also a small piano if I want to. For example, maybe by having different thickness. And then when I touch, and then by using this kind of things, they can learn playfully how to use simple timer chips and how resistance work in this case, and so on. Peers, because they work in group, or at the same time they get evaluated by each other. And then passion, because really at a certain point it's the student themselves to say, I want to build this and I want to figure it out, and at that point I just become support for them. So it's not traditionally top-down, it's kind of a mix of that plus a lot of bottom-up. So first of all, I'm extremely thankful. Participating in this project was, first of all, receiving help from KAIST is fantastic, receiving this kind of support. But at the same time, I think what was very interesting is that although we were trying to cope with a situation, the Corona situation and online classes, I think that through this journey we learn things that we can really apply back to physical classes. So say that maybe next year this class will go back to be offline. Now what I think I can do is to take all this knowledge, these tools that we developed, this new variation of the program, and bring them back to an offline class. And I think that will become even more effective. So I'm very thankful to have been participating in this project because it gave me the opportunity to develop all of this. Yes, so comment for the KAIST students, specifically for design students, so because I teach to design students, is always to try to be super engaged, not being passive, but absolutely engaging what you learn. Professors like me are just a tool in your hand to learn more. So if we don't provide enough of the kind of support for your passion to grow, you should always remind us. So always remaining very passionate. And in terms of goodbye, I mean, I want to thank everybody, and I hope to see you in class in future edition and to receive your comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.